Slice was another tool that took me a while to understand, but now it's super easy. So what I call it is my scissors, my way to hollow things out. And here's an example. If you have a design, but you want to maybe remove some of it to add a shape or to integrate a different text or image to it, here's how. So in this example, game, I'm trying to make a game day shirt, right? Going back to the Texans logo, what I did here is I'm going to use an offset to the logo just so that there's a little gap between all of the letters. And I contoured the insides because I want a solid image. So then I highlighted both, slice, and now it removes everything within that image. Anything that image was touching, it removed it. It leaves it easy for me to be able to just drop another image to it. I could actually weld it together or attach it together. Or if you want different colors, you can actually have one color print or cut and the other color cut. So that's one way to do it. I like to use slice also to do anything that has things that maybe were not correctly on there. And I'll show you that example next. But since we're talking about this particular layer example, I wanted to also bring up a big point that you need to remember. Unless it's already an uploaded image, you need to make sure that you know that it has to be single layer. So in this example, I typed up football and I'm going to make it line by line because sometimes we like to do different fonts and sometimes we want to do different colors. Sometimes we type it up and it's not an upload. So I want to explain it in this way. All right, now I'm changing the fonts. I'm going to do every other one a certain font. Then I'm going to do them all the same size as in length. So I'm going to do this one 6 inches. The other one is already about 6 point some. So I'm going to make sure all of them are 6 inches long. Now you're going to have to eyeball it and really give it its space, but you can also highlight it and then go to a line and center it. So that's what I did here. Back to the same scenario, we're going to put the Texans logo in there. I'm going to do an offset. I'm going to do a contour so I can have that extra little layer, right? So that is easy. We have it. But when you go to slice, just like we did with the game day one, and I'm going to do it right so you can kind of see the difference. And I'm going to bring it forward so you can see how it would fit. When I go to slice, if you notice, slice is actually not there. It's not bold. It's actually grayed out. And that's because you have each layer separate. So the top, the second, the third row, and the fourth row are separate. So there's two ways of doing that. You are going to be able to go one by one. If you notice, I highlight like the top football and part of the logo. Or you can actually, but before we get to the next, but what's going to happen is if you notice here, they're all going to be separate and you're going to have to figure it out. Now, my advice there would be lay your logo down wherever you're going to want it and then use that as your outline and then go around it. But the other way would actually be highlight it all and weld it together. If you attach it, it will not work. It has to be welded. It has to be one unified item and another unified item. So here, then it would do it. That's just a tip. If you see that slice is not cutting, it's because you have more than two items highlighted. All right. Another thing you could do with slice is let's think we have an item that we really like, but there's a piece of it that we don't want. Or, for example, there is a section we want to make another color. You can get a square a rectangle, a circle, whatever is going to cover that. And you can size it to cover that area. And once you size it and everything's the way you want it to be, here I'm just making my square into a rectangle. Make sure you're not touching any part that you want to actually keep. And then once you are satisfied with it covering the right spots, highlight it all and slice. What this leaves you room for is changing colors if you want to. For example, here, the rest is trash. I can do the outside or the, bordered ones, yellow, and the middle black for school colors or whatever it is you want. Additionally, let's say that you do have an image and everything is perfect except it's not the number you need. So I can't keep calm. That's my son, number 96. Well, what if he's number 99? You also can get you a shape as long as it covers just the number 96. You can cover it up and then you can slice through it. It will remove that section without disturbing any of the other parts. And you can slice through it. Now that you have, you can go ahead and get your font and add number 99. Change the font to whatever you want. I'm just being very basic with this design right now. But at the end of the day, you're able to add number 99. Now, because it's not touching anything else, you can then go and attach it, or you can go and weld it. Either one will work for this design. If it were to be different color, you don't want to weld and you don't want to attach. Let's say you want 99 to be blue versus everything else to be black or white or whatever. You can leave it as is and it will